Hello everyone, I'm Antoinette Laverche and welcome to Into the Woods with Antoinette Laverche, and today I am coming to you with my high blood pressure remedy. So about a year ago I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. I'm not in the high range, I'm not pre, but I'm like right there in the spot where it's basically time for me to care about it. And because of that, I have not been having any salt. I don't drink. I don't have coffee. It sucks. It really sucks. And I have had like so many different kinds of remedies that I've tried to get my blood pressure under control because I do not take high blood pressure meds. I was prescribed them, but my doctor did tell me that there were other things I could do since I was not in the highest level. Yeah, one of those is lose weight, watch your basically, if you're watching this video, you're probably watching it because you do have high blood pressure and you don't like what's going on with you. And for me, I could not take those pills because they made me feel very numb. Like you could slap me across the face. I could not feel a thing. I couldn't feel anything in my body. It made me tired all the time. And I said to myself, you know what, self? No. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be something else that I can do. Now, I do not recommend that you do this without the permission or being advised by your doctor. Based on your health, this may not work for you. But if it does work for you, this is what I've been doing. And basically, this is a beet Kvass, but I add in ginger, jalapeno, well, this is the ginger, jalapeno, and garlic. Now, one of my first things that I tried when I started trying to do, more herbal and health remedies for my high blood pressure, I used to blend the ginger and the garlic together in a lemon juice with honey and things like that. And, that was highly effective, except for the fact that I smell like garlic all the time. Like my husband was like, oh, you just always smell like you're cooking food. You don't want to smell like that when you're still trying to be sexy and young. Well, I don't think anyone, I don't care how old you are, you don't want to be smelling like garlic all the time. So that did not work for me, so I needed to come up with a better way. So we're gonna start the process. I have I'd say about 4 or 5 cups of beets right here. And I'm just going to put them all in here. All of it's just got to go in there. Now, you can try other ways. You have some people that juice their beets and things like that. I have tried everything. I have blended them. I have juiced them. I have done so many things to get this blood pressure under control. And all of the solutions that I came up with, I was uncomfortable about something big about it. Smelling like garlic, or I just really didn't like the flavor. And a lot of people don't really like beets. But what I like about making this into a Kvass is that it tastes a whole lot like a V8 does. It's like exactly like a V8. After the fermentation process starts, it's kind of tangy like, and with the garlic and the ginger and everything, that's just going to give it more flavor. But these aren't going in here just for flavor. All of these ingredients are good for high blood pressure, and beets are especially good because they help aerate your blood. Basically, you're going to get more oxygen to your blood that's going to slow your blood pressure down, which is exactly what you need. So right here I have I'll say about a half a cup of garlic, about a half a cup of ginger, and 1 big jalapeno. And I'm just going to put them all in there. Oh, that fell down right there. I'll put all that in there. And then you're just going to fill the rest with water. And I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of salt. There's no sugar goes in here, so if you're worried about your sugar content, you don't have to worry about it. And given the fact that this here is a 1.5 gallon container, you'll taste this salt in here. But you're not going to feel like, oh, I'm completely self-defeating myself not needing salt for high blood pressure. So you don't have to worry about that. This salt is just mainly just to start the process of the fermentation. So I'm going to put my water in here. The water that I'm using is Ozarka water. It's natural spring water. You do not want to use water from your faucet in your house because that water has lead in it, it has fluoride in it, and God knows what else in there, and that can really prevent or mess up your fermentation process. I have the salt in there. Hun, I need a spoon. Hey, I need a spoon. Man. I need a spoon. I'm going to use the spoon to mix the salt into this water. So when I put it all in there, it's not dispersed. It's dispersed evenly. Just mix that up a bit and start with the water. This one here is almost empty. Alright, and I'm just putting more water in there. Now you don't want to fill this all the way up to the top because you want to have room for your yeast to breathe after it gets to forming in there. And I'm just going to mix this up a bit just to get my salt in there right. Let me taste it, make sure. Yep, and that's perfect. It's not too salty. I'll put just a bit more. Not a whole lot because you gotta watch that high blood pressure now, you know. Okay, so put in a bit more. But right there. Alright. So you want to make sure that none of your content in there is exposed to air, because if it's exposed to air, you want to make sure that it's all submerged under the water. If it's exposed to air, then you're going to get molding in situations like that. So what I like to do is I use a plastic bag and I just put it in there. And then I put water in the plastic bag so that I can keep everything where it needs to be. And so my fermentation process is not compromised. I use the same water that I use in here just in case for some reason or another if this should mix on me not closing the bag correctly, or if there was a little hole in the bag or whatever. You just never know. You don't want to use faucet water in there and it somehow get in your mix and ruin your whole process. And for some reason I kind of always suck, at how I close these things. I probably should get the one with the little drag little thing on it, but I don't. Life goes on. I think it needs more water anyway. Close this a bit, and then I have this seal right here. Now you don't want to close this so tightly that there is just no way there's oxygen getting in there, so I just put it in very loosely. Okay, alrighty, so I have everything submerged under the water here. As you can see, nothing is sticking out. There's no oxygen exposed to any of it. This is going to sit in a dark place between 65-75 degrees for about 2 to 3 days, depending on how warm it stays or how cold it is, okay? After you do that, sometimes, well, more than likely, I shouldn't say sometimes, you should get like a white foam on top, or like some little bitty kind of like a white film, and all that is the yeast floating up to the top. All that means is that your process is working and you need more time for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this away, and I will be back with the rest for you guys later. All right, bye. Okay, you guys, it is officially day 3. This is the top of my high blood pressure mixture Kvass, and there's a little bit of bubbles, like an effervescent kind of, I don't think you can really see it on camera, but there's a little bit coming up. It's not bubbly, but it has picked up like a tangy flavor. I wish it was more tangy, but I'm gonna go ahead and bottle it because I'm going out of town and it can't just stay in there. And I'm pretty sure it will continue with its tang in the bottles if I leave them out. So this is it. Remember, it was like really clear, and now you can't see through it at all. It's a very heavy violet fuchsia type color. Guys, it is time for the bottling process. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the bag out, and look at that. This bag pretty much got in the water, and this is why you want to use good water, just in case this happens. So I'm going to take this out and put this over here, and you're going to want to be careful with all of this because beets stain everything. And I wish you guys were here, and then you could smell that it smells heavily like garlic and ginger, and you can even smell some of the jalapeno. All those ingredients are really good for high blood pressure. So, probably over here ruining my tablecloth. Some of it out of it. I'll just put that over the top. Got some splashing going on too, but you know, just gonna have to clean it. Hope it comes out of there. Okay, and this is my funnel. I'm using one that's for cars because it's effective and I couldn't find another one. As long as you keep it clean, don't use it on your car, I'm pretty sure it'll be just fine. And I'm just gonna bottle this. Gonna store it in a place within the temperature of 65, 75 degrees. I'm gonna leave these out for a little longer because I like mine to get a little bit more tangy, and because I use so much water, this has a slight tang, but I need a little bit more zing to it. Also, if you're not someone who's used to eating beets, I want to just let you know that it turns everything pink, like your pee, like your poo, both. Alright, right there is a good stop. Perfect. Just want to seal that up. Alright, you guys, I'm back, and I got 4 bottles out of that. We went ahead and strained it all, and here we are. And I was not going to, now I wasn't going to use this again at first. I was like, okay, I'm going to be gone too long and it's going to get too tangy. And then I started thinking, because of the way this smells and the way it tastes, if it goes vinegar on me, I'd be just fine with that, actually. And so I figured it's already, you know, that the beets in there are already fermented. They're already kind of a little bit soft. They're still firm. That's why I'm using it again, because that's why I'm using it again, because they're still good. And I just figured, just let them go a little bit longer just to see what happens. You know, this is, you know, a new thing that I've been doing. I have never let it go that far, and I'm just curious to see what happens. If you guys want to see that process, let me know and I'll post a video about it. If not, then it'll just be something that I do myself. And so now these bottles here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep them out for about 2 days. Actually, a lot longer. I'm probably going to keep these out until I go on vacation, which means I'm going to keep these out for maybe like another 3 days. And then right before I leave, I'll put them in the fridge. And the way if you can tell, I have a little bit of purple on my hands from moving the beets and all the stuff in there. So yes, this stuff stains. It stains very well. So be careful that you don't ruin your tablecloth like I probably did. But anyway, so the way I take this is, they say, depending on, I guess, your weight, you know, that you take so much of it a day. But typically you take about 4 ounces. For me, I take about 1.5 cups in the morning. You want to have it as soon as you get up. Before you eat anything, before you drink anything, you can drink water or whatever. But you want to have this first, and then you want to have whatever else. Some people like to also have the same amount right before bed. And it pretty much stabilizes your blood pressure by adding more oxygen into your blood, slows everything down, but you still feel, you know, good. It doesn't make you feel weird or anything like that. And it's natural, it's high in antioxidants, it's good for your immunity, it's good for your gut health because it has natural probiotics in it. It's good stuff, and it works for me. Now, just like I said before, I don't really know if it's going to work for you. You want to check with your doctor, see where you are, and it's going to be a lot of factors that come into play. How active you are, what your eating habits are like. You know, that's going to determine if this is going to be something that works for you, and where your blood pressure is. If your blood pressure is on the higher level, you've already been taking blood pressure meds for about 2 years, you might not want to do this. Now, if you do have high blood pressure and you want to just, maybe you want to just take less of it or something, you could start something like this while you're taking your meds, because this does not interfere with any kind of medication that you're taking. Everything is all natural. But you could start, and maybe it can help you need a lower dose, but still that is going to be something that you want to talk to your doctor about, and if that works for you. But for me, it works a whole lot, because I'm just not someone who likes to, I don't like to take any kind of medication. I don't want to take a Tylenol for a headache. I'll get through it. I have migraine problems. I'll even get through those without medication. I'll just meditate, spend some time alone, manage the pain. I'm really, really good at handling pain. But if you're not, and you're someone that you want an instant fix for your situation, then, you know, take your medication. But if you're like me and you're worried about what's in this, where it comes from, what is this going to do to my body over time, because a lot of the medications that we take, they might fix one thing but make something else a whole lot worse. So I like to limit my exposure to any kinds of synthetic medication whatsoever. I am the type of person, I'm going to look for another option that works for me, and this does. So if you have any questions, if I can't answer them, go ahead, leave it in the comment box. You know, if you like the video, hit a like, subscribe if you want to keep seeing things like this, because I'm going to be making a lot of these. My family has pretty much gotten used to it. I also have a fermented immunity boosting live soda video as well if you want to check that out. And this is pretty much it. So I hope you guys like the video. Give us a thumbs up if you dig it. If you don't, that's cool too. And bye.